Happy Monday, Grace Sisters. I'm just so excited, y'all. I'm just gonna jump right in because this is my very first episode. And I just wanted to say this one thing. This might help somebody. I hope it helps someone. Just get started. I cannot tell you how long it took me to get ready to do this. Then I had to come to the realization, say, Caitlin, it's not going to be perfect. When I tell y'all don't even want to know what I prepared to do this. I was raised as a young lady that my mother took us to get our hair done. We were younger, like every 4 to 6 weeks, right? As a young woman, yes, that spoils you. That's a good mom, taking you to get your hair done. Everybody does not have that luxury. But when I tell you, when you get older, excuse me, and some of y'all can attest to this. Let me tell you something. When you get older to an age where, when you get older and you're at an age where you have to start doing your own hair, baby, you go to YouTube University, you go to your friend down the street, because I went on YouTube University to learn how to get this wig together. No, it's not perfect, so do not zoom in. Lashes, no, they're not perfect, so do not zoom in. Makeup, no, it's not perfect, so do not zoom in. And I have come to the terms at 30 years old that I am a woman who does not spend that much time on all of those three things. And I'm okay with that. Over time, I will learn, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, it's 2022, sis. You need to step it up. You need to glow up, right? Anyway, that's my beginning rant, but I hope you all have an amazing Monday. I just wanted to say this to you all. This is a journey for me that is somewhat nerve-wracking, because it required me to let go of some things. And one of those things being, I hear you. One of those things being is my job. And now you may say, why would you let go of your job? But if you're a believer, even if you're not a believer, you have an inner knowing of when it's time to move in some things, when it's time to move in purpose. And you don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to be a believer of God to know when it's time to move on and when it's time to walk in what you're called to walk in. We were not put on this earth. Let me tell you something. This is just my opinion, and you may agree with me. We were not put on this earth to be born, to work, pay bills, and die. We just weren't. And we all can attest to that. We all have that common agreement to say, no, we were not. Somebody in the chat say, no, we were not. Amen. We were not. We were absolutely not placed on this earth to be born, to work, pay bills, and die. And there comes a point in your life where you're like, I want to lay it all out. I do not want to get into my old age or die with a vision and a purpose dying inside of me. And you know how you know you're called to do it? Because you would do it if no one paid you. You would do it just for the gratification that one person was helped, influenced, motivated. You would do that. You would do that because you're like, that's the passion, that's the purpose inside of me. And you may be that person who's like, okay, we all have those moments where we're like daydreaming and we're like, what was I meant to do? Like, why was I born? And I'm not trying to get too deep into this, but because I don't want this to be a long intro video. But why was I put here? Why did that egg meet with that sperm and create me? Or maybe that's just me. Maybe I just have those thoughts. But you can comment below if you agree with me. Why was I put here? And I often pray and I say, Lord, what do you want me to do? What is the purpose that you have for my life? So he showed me this purpose of Grace Sisters 5 years ago. And it were just moments in my life where I would have conversations with people, women mostly, who it just flowed so easy. God would just give me what to say in that moment to inspire them. And I felt so good inside because I knew it wasn't me. It was something higher than me, giving me what that person needed at that moment, the grace they needed in that moment, to know that they're not alone. Everybody has a grace story. And I'm going to just give you a brief synopsis of my grace story. I dealt with anxiety. So to a point where I had panic attacks on the job. I mean, it could be a little thing that triggered me. Panic attacks on the job. There was one time where they had to call an ambulance for me. That was embarrassing. But I've overcome it because I've allowed God to take over and to give me instruction for my life. And sometimes lack of instruction and lack of direction can lead to things like stress and anxiety. And there's a lot of things that we gloss over, especially as women. We put up with it because we're expected to. We put up with it because, we'll deal with it later. But I'm telling you, anxiety, stress, those things build and build and build and build. You must address it. So Grace Sisters is a space for grace. A space for women who can connect with me and share in the understanding that they are not alone. We live in a society that promotes competition among women. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there's good competition that will cause you to drive yourself and motivate yourself to get things done. But have you ever walked into a room and you command attention? You just have a light on you that commands attention, and you just know everyone in that room is throwing shade. Just has some types of jealous bone in their body that they don't know you. They never met you. Within the first 5 minutes, they're giving you looks, giving you the side eye, looking you up and down. Other women, maybe sometimes men, but other women. And it just needs to be a space where we can come together and share our experiences. Because believe it or not, we have more in common than we realize. We have more in common than we realize. If I share my story with you and tell you how I got over it, you may be in the same predicament or coming out of the same situation. And that is how we connect. But because we as sisters and we as women, sometimes we just don't want to look weak. We just don't want to look, we want to look like we have it all together. But I'm telling you, we have more in common than we think. I'll share this one other story, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I battled for a long time with the words of someone talking about my shoe size. And it held me captive to the point where I went to the store with a family member and I would not get new shoes for school because I was so embarrassed by the size of my feet. I was supposed to get some new Converses or new Nikes or something. And my first comment out of my mouth was, oh, my feet going to look long. They're going to look like a clown. It was an insecurity that I held on to for a long time. And this may sound silly, but it's real. Even to the point where, you guys, I tried to stuff my foot in a one size smaller than what I actually wear. It took me a long time to be comfortable in this body with long limbs and long legs and long feet. And I don't know why it didn't click to me. You are a tall woman. You need long feet to support this body. But because I had that inner insecurity that I didn't want to outwardly speak about, I was too embarrassed. I just held on to it. And I allowed it to alter the way I dressed and the way I carried myself for a long time. But now I am in a space and I found grace within myself to say, it's okay. You look good. Laugh it off. Okay, you have long feet. So what? No one is checking for you. No one's checking for your long feet. My husband loves me for who I am. But it first took me to love me for who I am. But I'm telling you, just as who you are is enough. I had an insecurity about having big breasts. I had an insecurity about having no butt, and I still do. But guess what? My husband loves me. That's just an example. That's just an example to say that you have a purpose on your life. I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care if you're a non-believer. There is purpose on the inside of you. You have everything you need to pull it outside of you. It's going to take strength. It's going to take determination. It's going to take consistency. And I'm preaching to myself because it can be a fight. But when you have other women who are pursuing purpose, who are moving forward in a positive space, you can't go wrong. So that's what I want Grace Sisters to be. Just motivation, inspiration, connection, networking, whatever it's going to be. This is a scary space for me right now, but I had to lay aside my fear. I had to lay aside what others were going to say about where I'm going in life because there's no one I have to please but God. I had to lay aside the fear and pick up the faith. And there is someone right now who has had a same dream over and over again. You've been dreaming of doing this thing, but you're like, I don't know where the money is coming from. I don't know where the clients are coming from. I don't know what this is going to look like. But if you don't start, you'll never know. If you continue to continue to keep getting ready to get ready, you would never begin. If you keep trying to prepare, to start, to get ready, you would never know. Take the step, take the leap, take the inch. Wherever you are right now, you can take one step forward towards it. If it's brainstorming, if it's sketching it out, if it's talking it out, if it's journaling, if it's writing it down, if it's vocalizing it to your family, go for it. If I make an impact and encourage one woman, I will feel great. I feel like, okay, it was worth it. Not perfect, but worth it. Because I know that I am walking in purpose. And if you don't know what that looks like, I'm willing to have a conversation with you. Because purpose for everyone looks different. Your purpose may be to stay on your job and encourage the women on your job. Your purpose may be to be a good mother. Your purpose may be to be a good entrepreneur. Your purpose may be to be a good singer, a good writer. But like I said, this is a new space for me. And as I extend grace, I ask that you all send me some grace. I want you to grow and I want you to glow in who you are. You cannot be anyone else but you. And no matter how hard you try to squeeze in the image of others, you would never fit, just like the Cinderella slipper. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. So y'all, we're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to be real. We're going to talk to other women who wants to share their story of grace, and just give grace, extend grace, flow in grace. Mm-mm-mm. But right now, I feel like I'm purpose driven and purpose aligned. I am excited. As much as I'm cautious and approaching fear, I'm not dwelling in fear, but sometimes I approach fear and I have to speak to it. Anxiety, I have to speak to it because I know where I'm called to be. So is that much more worth it? It's worth it. It's worth it for someone to say you helped me. It's worth it, you guys. I don't know where this will lead. I don't know where this will go. I don't know who this will impact, but I'm telling you, I feel like it's worth it. And you have something inside of you that I can glean from. You have something inside of you that I can lean on. So feel free to share your story of grace. What is a moment where you're like, I need some grace? What I want to hear from you. What moment in your life you face some trauma, you face some situations, you face some trials where you were like, this is rough, but I've overcome. Because everything we go through is not just for us. It's for someone else. There is purpose in the pain. There is purpose in the struggle. There is purpose in overcoming a mountain in your life. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you've gone through. What was your moment of grace when you overcame and you said, I've learned from this. I can look back and say, I've overcome this. If you are now on the other side, guess what? Guess what you can do in your purpose? You can look back and pull someone else up because you've been through it. Whether it's relationships, being a single mother, going through sickness, going through mental illness, mental health issues, you can speak to someone else and build them up and give them grace. Because we all need grace. We all need a space for grace where we can say, I'm not alone in this. I don't have to be embarrassed because someone else is going through the very same thing. That's the thing, though. We like to keep things to ourselves because we think, oh, people have this picture perfect vision of me. I don't want to taint it. But baby, listen, I know I'm not perfect. But I'm worth it. I'm worth the grace. I'm worth the grace on my life. And you have grace on your life too. That's why you're still here. Because you have a story to tell. That is why you are still here. That is why it did not take you out. I'm about to get emotional. Woo! That is why it did not take you out. Because I was meant to hear it. Your neighbor was meant to hear it. Your sister was meant to hear it. Your friend was meant to hear what you've overcome. And social media perpetuates this vision of perfection. But it's time to get real about what we've been through. It's time to get real about where we've been. And yes, granted, we may be in a space we're not ready to share, but I'm telling you, when the time comes, you have a responsibility to share what you've gone through. When you've overcome it, when you're coming from a place of healing and you're able to speak clearly in strength and share with other sisters what you've gone through. Because you are not alone. I'm telling you, you're not alone. That very thing you think that no one has gone through, someone has gone through it. So take out the time to ask for peace and for strength to articulate your pain in a way that expels your purpose. It is connected. I promise you it's connected. I promise you, if you're wondering why you're here, if you're wondering why it did not take you out, because your pain is connected to your purpose. And the very thing you're holding back, the very thing you're holding in because you don't think anyone will understand, we all understand. You just have yet to vocalize your purpose. You've yet to vocalize your pain so we can understand your purpose. So I'm here for you. Even if you don't know me, I'm here for you. And all of you who did know me, erase the vision of who you had before because I'm rebranding myself. I'm reintroducing myself as a person who is purpose aligned, who has a mission to do great things in the earth, who has a focus to walk therein. And I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm trying to motivate you and inspire you. That very thing you're dreaming about, it is possible. After you've overcome your purpose, your pain, guess what? You can walk in your purpose. After you've healed and you're in a place where you can share it. It's worth it. Share it. I just want you all to hear my heart because I'm really passionate about this thing. I want y'all to hear my heart and feel me right now. You know what? I wasn't even going to go here, but I just feel led to pray for someone. Just to encourage someone who is trying to figure out what their purpose is. It just seems like things don't work out for you. And sometimes it feels like you don't know your space, you don't know your place. But I'm telling you right now, there is purpose and grace on your life. There is purpose and grace on your life. Everything that you have been through was not in vain.